Hello guys, it's John. So today we're doing another Beyblade unboxing. This time we have PhoenixWing. So yeah, very exciting release, the big December release, which is usually a pretty, well, big one. Usually save the craziest release of the year for December, well, generally speaking. So seems they're continuing that trend in X, and you can see the character right there, all the stats. Character is very interesting actually. I don't want to spoil anything. We have the manga. Haven't been reading the manga, not watching the anime though, but still. Very, very cool character, to say the least. And let me get this out. Put that over there. And probably need scissors for that. Alright, there we go. So you can see the kind of the instruction manual and stuff, and then of course the bay, which I'm going to go ahead and cut the video for this. I don't want to waste time getting all this stuff out. It's already been like a minute, so go cut the video, get all this out, and show everything that comes in the box. Alright, everything out of the box. Now first up we have the string launcher. This is a red string launcher. Black, of course, but yeah. Nice to get another one of these. Of course, we did have the black one in the regular release, and the first one was the blue one from the Start Dash. So I think there's been some G3 prizes or something like that. This is our third kind of normal string launcher release, so very, very nice to have another one. Next up here, we have the actual bay. So let's start off with probably 960, because I feel like it's the least interesting part of the bay. This one is, let's zoom in a little bit more. So yeah, this ratchet, pretty similar like 360, honestly. The 3 points, they're a little bit smaller overall, which is interesting. Plus you have, in between the three main ones, you have these two extra spikes on each side, which makes up the 9. Not overly interesting. I feel like it's just another ratchet. I mean, the ratchets really haven't been that crazy or anything, so yeah, nice to get another new ratchet. We have been very limited on them, but still, it's not like anything groundbreaking. I like the dark red. I got the transparent in the middle here, transparent plastic, clear plastic, whatever you're going to call it, but yeah, it's fine. Just something new, which is nice. Next up here we have the bit. This is going to be gear flat. This is in black, and is very, very cool. Almost like a jaggy type of thing at the bottom. Meant to kind of help with the extreme line and stuff, and yeah. I assume it probably performs a little bit closer, something like jaggy. Haven't actually watched any battles or unboxing on this guy yet. I really want to just go in blind, but yeah, I probably should watch a battle or two. But yeah, gear flat, I can kind of imagine how it works. Also, of course, being an attack, but you do have this extra part up here for extra burst resistance, which is always nice. And then, of course, we get to the blade PhoenixWing, and this thing, yeah, this thing is looking really, really cool. Tri-wing design, very nice. Got these kind of gold parts here, gold gear bit, or gear chip, the kind of design on the gear chip there as well. Underneath, kind of a pale translucent yellow. Very, very cool looking. Yeah, I like the shape. Shape's nice. Obviously the star of the show here is the red paint. That looks great. I'll talk about that more later, actually, and some potential negative thoughts on that. Actually, well, first up, there's the negative thing of that. These chip really badly and also kind of stain the stadium, so unfortunate, but there is one downside to this red paint that I will get to later when I talk about this bay as a whole. Well, not really a downside to the red paint, but just something, I guess, about this bay in general and its kind of hype and stuff. So anyway, we'll come back to that later. But it does look like a very, very cool blade, regardless. Let's go ahead and take the scale out here to see how much this bay weighs. As per usual, it's hard to see in this lighting, I know, so I will read out the numbers if you can't. You can kind of see, but still, I'll read them out. 960, 6.28. Gear flat, 2.24, and the PhoenixWing blade is going to be 38.1, that's very heavy actually. This blade, let's see, how much is this bay overall? Okay, 46.62 grams, that is actually quite heavy. So very, very heavy bay. Well, it's already at 50 gram mark. I don't know if we'll hit it or not, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. Anyway, let's go and put this bay together, see how it all looks. Let me fix the focus first, it looks terrible. There we go, it's better. Not really, but closer. Alright. And the bit. That fits in actually really well, so there you go. PhoenixWing 960 gear flat. Does look very, very nice for sure. I like the transparent on black there. Very cool. So yeah, let me grab Phoenix Feather here as a comparison. So which is cooler? I actually think that the shape, you could honestly argue either way. This one might be a little too close to Drawn Sword, but you know, not like terrible, but still, it's in terms of shape, I'd probably say PhoenixWing's a little bit cooler, but also has the red paint, which is very nice. But yeah, the gear chip itself, I might give it to Phoenix Feather. Like Wing is like crazier looking, but I don't know, I kind of like the way Feather looks. So yeah, I don't know. There you go. Yeah, I like Phoenix Feather a lot actually. So yeah. So with that said, what do I think of PhoenixWing? Is there anything else to talk about with it? Aside from the fact that it's just like a cool looking bay, what else is there to talk about with PhoenixWing? Like I said, yeah, the whole idea of this is, it's like a very fast attack type. You know, you have the gear flat, helps out with the extreme line and stuff. 960, it's a new ratchet that kind of functions. Actually, let me switch this ratchet around so it stands up easier. But anyway, as I do that, I'll talk still. But yeah, it's just kind of a new ratchet. That's nice. And then we have the blade, which the blade is, I put that in the same exact way, okay. The blade, it's actually nothing really that crazy or interesting, honestly. That's kind of the one downside of this bay, I would say, is yeah, the blade isn't all that. It stands up better, okay, cool. Yeah, the blade, it's meant to be just a strong, quick attack type, but at the same time, I feel like it lacks that impact that a lot of other December releases do, especially the early December releases. Look at Metal Fight El Durango, the first ever left spin, or like Burn Phoenix, you know, Metal Sharp, you know, a new material, the first Metal Bottom. Obviously later seasons, I think, yeah, later seasons, obviously the bays are generally a lot crazier, but like, also early bursts, you know? Excalibur, the first, you know, driver with any sort of unique material, you know, with Extreme, with the rubber. Or Lost Longest had metal in the layer, and was left spin, you know? Comparing these earlier bays to PhoenixWing, I feel like, while PhoenixWing, yeah, it looks great. Like, obviously PhoenixWing, it looks great. No one's going to argue that, I don't think. But, I do think it's somewhat underwhelming as a kind of December release in terms of its impact. Well, yeah, you could say it's a very good bay. Would not argue that. Does it look cool? Yes. It's still a very good bay, don't get me wrong, but I just think that for a December release, it feels a little bit underwhelming. I think 960, it's a new ratchet, but again, there's nothing crazy or interesting about it. Gear flat as well. I think gear flat, while it's cool, you could have thrown this on like a lot of other bays. If you told me gear flat came in a booster from like a random release, like a October release or something, would not doubt that. I think PhoenixWing, if you scraped all the paint off and just made it regular metal, almost like, you know, Phoenix Feather, again, I think that the bay, while it's still a cool bay, it's not, I mean, maybe even a starter, it's still not a main December release. And again, it's not even the first bay with paint. We've seen, you know, even Cobalt Drake, or, you know, some of the like limited editions have had, you know, paint as well. So I just don't think it's quite to that level of other December releases. Again, especially I'm just comparing it to like the earlier December releases of Generations. Again, I compared it to the kind of first system and then like the actual first season, and compared to any of those, I feel like this one's the weakest in terms of what it brings to the table, and I feel like that's a little bit underwhelming to me. That said, though, obviously I still like PhoenixWing a lot. Just as a bay in a vacuum, no context behind it, I think that this bay is great. I mean, again, it has the red paint. It just looks very cool. It's a good bay, for sure. I just am not sold on the fact that this should be our starting December release. I feel like it doesn't have enough to it, in my opinion, to really justify that position. I feel like they should have done a little bit more here for a December release, and that's kind of my thoughts on it. So yeah. I'm assuming PhoenixWing is getting a lot of hype right now, so I also wanted to kind of play devil's advocate to give some extra insight on some negatives that I think it does bring, and kind of continues those struggles of X, where I just feel like we haven't gotten a lot of genuinely new and interesting stuff yet. But it's still a very cool bay. It looks cool. Like, look, I'm not someone who battles anyway. I do like talking about design and stuff, but as a shelf piece, or just I think if you're battling, it seems pretty good. But as a shelf piece, it looks great because of the red paint. But yeah. So with all that said, is this a cool bay? For sure. Is the December release, the big December release, is it good? It is good, but yeah, I think it just it missed the mark a little bit. It just has a little bit that it's missing. So with all that said, that's that for PhoenixWing. I wanted to talk about that, just to give a little bit of a different perspective, because I know people got this early, and again, I'm pretty sure it's probably been getting a lot of hype, so I wanted to, again, just give somewhat of a different viewpoint on this guy, so hopefully that made it at least a little bit more interesting, and it's kind of my thoughts on PhoenixWing, honestly. Still a very cool bay overall. Will definitely be liking to have this guy in my collection. I should be getting Wyvern Gale some point somewhat soon. I'm hoping next week, if not the week after. But yeah, I will get Wyvern Gale. Also have some unique stuff to bring to the table, I think, with that one, with some of the things I've seen about it. I may have another perspective on that, just because I've seen a lot of talk about Wyvern Gale, and I wanna make that video, but I need it first. So let's hope it gets here soon. So anyways, that's all for this video though. So yeah, there you go, PhoenixWing. So anyways, thanks for watching, and bye bye.